Hey guys, Brian and Chris here, West Bend Dyno Tuning. Today we're going to go through Shop Talk 9. We're just going to do a short little recap of some of the projects that we have we're trying to get out for the customers before the end of this spring, summertime ends here. So the first one's going to be a 2019 GMC Yukon Denali. We did a 6.2 liter. We did a Whipple 3.0 supercharger on it. We did a lowering kit in the back to kind of level it off, and of course a catback exhaust. Truck looked really good, sounded really good. We also did a Banks module for the gauges, so the customer can monitor boost, fuel pressure, anything he wants to look at. It's all OBD2. It's a trick gauge that looks really nice and has a lot of data in it without setting up any extra senders or sending units or anything like that. Just plug and play, works real nice. That one made 509 rear wheel horsepower and 486 rear wheel torque by the time it was all said and done. Picked up about 154 rear wheel horsepower and about 104 foot-pounds of torque. Real nice driving truck. Customer's very happy with it. Looks good, sounds good, makes really good power.
Yeah, turned out really well. Customer was really happy with the install and the way everything looked too. Next up, we have a 2024 Mustang Dark Horse. Now that one came in for a Whipple supercharger install. We're just buttoning that up right now and waiting for the tune file to come from Whipple. So we should have some results for you guys by the time Shop Talk 10 rolls around.
Yeah, that one was kind of cool because he had a custom color to match his vehicle that Whipple actually offers for an extra like $600 or something. So it's that Arctic blue or grabber blue, I think is what they call that. Looks really cool in the engine bay. So
yeah, it's a lot of blue, but it definitely accents the rest of the car well. Sets the engine bay apart. Next up, we have 2016 Z06. That one we put a Magnuson supercharger on last
2650R.
year. Yeah, 2650 on last year. And this year he decided he wanted to bring it in and just up the boost a little bit, and he also had a ported throttle body that he brought in. We did some runs on it with ported throttle body, really didn't make or break anything on that end, but the pulley did end up picking up some power. Final numbers on that one were 632 horsepower and 606 torque, so it turned out really well. Performed how we would have expected it to.
Yeah, it's all stock other than the supercharger upgrade and the throttle body, obviously, but that one made some really good power for what it was.
Yeah, and the customer's excited. He actually was going to be taking it down to the track yet this week and running it. So he was going to get back to us and let us know what kind of numbers, what it picked up. Next up would be 1970 Chevelle convertible. Now, I guess we'll both kind of touch on this one, but this car's been here for quite a while. It's been an ongoing project. Just ran into some things that we don't need to get into, but at the end of the day, it turned out really well. We've got, it's a Wagner 427 with a 3-liter Whipple on it. It's an ATD built 4L80. We've got a Moser rear end in it. We've got QA1 suspension. There's a ton of great parts on it. We've got vintage air in it. The thing turned out really well. It just left here last week. It's headed to the body shop. So the body work can all get done and it can get painted. And then at that point, it's going to be going to the interior shop, and then it should come back here for the final tuning. Some of the cool things that are on there, I guess you can touch on.
Yeah, it's a flex fuel vehicle. So we're able to run pump gas and E85 using the smooth boost controller that we put on a ton of our supercharger builds. That way we're able to dial in boost. We can actually dial it back for pump gas if the customer can't get E85. So we can make full boost on E85. I want to say on Wagner's engine dyno made like 1250.
That one might have been a touch lower.
That was a little bit, okay. That one made, so we can make full boost on that car on E85 and then turn the boost down to say, 9, 10, 11, 12 pounds of boost on pump gas. Make sure it's safe for pump gas and street driving. And the customer, all they do is fill it up with whatever fuel they want to run fast with. E85, you get a lot more power, put it on pump gas. It's more of a cruiser. Still is going to make good power, but
for sure,
it's going to be safe. Customer doesn't worry about changing tunes or changing files or changing pulleys over. It's got a flex fuel sensor in it, and the Holly can actually infer ethanol based on the flex fuel sensor, and the tune adjusts according to that. Boost, fueling, timing, everything. So it's pretty trick, and we do it on a lot of our builds.
Yeah. Yep. Next up is a carb tune. So this truck actually came in a year ago, and it had a sniper on
Sniper
it.
1.
And we ended up, we had forewarned him about possible issues with RFI and what have you, and ended up that he decided to go the route of carburetor. So he put a carburetor on and brought it to us this year to have us tune the carburetor. Overall, it ended up turning out really well. I mean, it's a fairly healthy small block. Ended up making 309 horsepower and 347 torque at the wheels.
It's through an automatic and a really big converter too.
Yeah,
So keep
big
that
stall.
in mind. It's a lot of drivetrain loss on something like that.
But overall, it dialed in really nice, and it was a very cool build.
Last one we have on our list, second to last one, 55 Chevy with a GM Performance 502 crate motor, had a fast fuel injection system on it, came in for tuning, like every other car comes in for tuning. We did a visual on it and saw quite a few issues on the wiring, especially the ground side. The CD ignition box was grounded to the inner painted fender. A lot of the base wiring off the battery was going through really small wires through junction blocks. So that all got addressed. A few other leaks too, right? Wasn't it
Yep.
a transmission pan leak?
Yep, transpan leak, valve cover gasket leak. The valve cover gaskets were actually doubled up. It actually needed spacers to get them up off of the rockers, and with having doubled up valve cover gaskets, it didn't bode well for
Yep.
leaks. So we got that addressed.
So got that one in the dyno, did the tuning on it, runs and drives really nice. I mean, that for an older 502 crate motor, thing came in right where it was supposed to. It made like 519 wheel horsepower and 419 wheel horsepower and 418 on the torque. That engine I think supposed to make like 500 or something like that. So dialed in real nice. Did all the street driving, real smooth, real nice driving car. The fast system actually worked pretty well on that vehicle. But ran into an intermittent stall that appeared to be electrical in nature. So we didn't change anything on the fast EFI installation on that side of it. So we got it back. It was set cam crank sensor codes, pulled the distributor cap, and it was toast. The inside was all rusty. The cap and rotor were kind of trashed. So we swapped that out, did some more street drives on it. I guess
It was working well. Everything was running great. And then we had one issue where went to start it and it would crank over, but you weren't hearing a fuel pump and it wasn't actually powering up the fast system. So you'd wiggle, and this all of a sudden it started to become more of a common thing. Every 4 or 5 starts, found that wiggling the ignition switch when you're in the run position would all of a sudden get the fuel pump to turn on. Checked the connections at the back. The connections were good, so it was an internal issue with the switch. We changed out the switch and then drove the vehicle again and I put several miles on the vehicle and was actually probably 2 miles away from the shop and was ready to come and call the customer and tell them to come and get it. And we ran into another intermittent stall. And just like that, it fired back up and it was good, and drove it probably 45 miles after that and no issues. So there's still an intermittent issue that needs to be found. At this point, the customer decided that he wanted to just take the car and drive it, take his chances, and he would do some more investigating on his own and keep us in the loop. But overall, the car drove really well. It was a very nice running, driving car. Last one that I wanted to touch on was one that we've talked about before, and it was one that we actually had at the Greater Milwaukee Auto Show this past year. 67 Chevelle convertible that we did a 540 blueprint crate engine, a 5-speed conversion, a lot of work to it. And it just came in for some routine maintenance here at the end of the season. Time to get the break-in engine oil out of it, time to get the break-in transmission oil out of it, get everything kind of buttoned up, give it a look over, put it to bed for the winter so it's ready for him to bring out come spring. One other thing I wanted to bring up was dyno rentals. We just had one again, and it's just a service that we do offer here, something to keep in mind. If you have remote tuning that you're having done, even if it's a platform that we don't work on, this one was one we do, but that is a service that we offer. So something that we can do. Brian jumps in there and does logging and works hand in hand with the tuner, and also throws in some input here and there where needed. So it's just another service that we offer. Just like to bring that up.
So yeah, like Chris touched on, if it's a platform like a European or Asian import that we don't work on, I know we had a RX-7 with a big turbo on it, a year or two ago. If you have a platform that we can't help you out with specifically, that is a really nice service to have, is we can keep the vehicle in a controlled environment on the dyno, have someone else remote in, and I can give real-time feedback as a calibrator to whoever's working on the vehicle. Give them the dyno graphs, boost level, whatever it may be, what the feel of the car is, which sometimes customers don't always know, if it's their own vehicle, they're not used to something with that kind of power or noises or, pinging or knocking that they're not really aware of. It's a service we can offer to save you from taking your car to another state if you're local to us. So I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I think that should cover it for this episode.
Well, thanks for watching Shop Talk 9. As always, check us out, westbenddyno.com. Give us a call, 262-692-9035. Thanks.
Thanks.